Alright guys, what's up? PriceIsKing.com. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We're going to be talking about the SPY, the SPY or S&P 500 ETF. Let's get into it. What's going on with this? I had a request to actually review this and take a look at it from a swing perspective. So, if you're swing trading the ETFs and you're swing trading the SPY, along with all the futures that I talk about, the stocks that I talk about, if you're trading this particular instrument, let's take a look at, see what's going on and where it's trading, where it's been. What you see on the screen right now is the daily chart. When you're looking at this daily chart, I took a step back, see where it's been in the past year and a half, and then take a look at where it is currently. Right? You want to know where it's headed, where it's doing in the past few weeks. If you're swing trading the next few days into the end of the year, and if you want to take a look at what's going to happen in the upcoming year, you got to take a step back, right? You can't just go in and dive in and hit the execute button, because from what I see just by looking at it right now, you execute, it's going to go down, right? You got to make an informed decision, and you got to have your risk in place. You want to make sure you got the proper controls in place for the trades that you want to get in, especially if you're a swing trader, right? Some of these things, you're going to be holding on for a couple of days, maybe a week, a month, depending on your situation. You want to make sure that you make the call correctly by at least taking a step back and looking at it. So first off, I got the 200-day, the 50-day on the charts, and what I'm seeing right now is it's gone up along with the markets, right? There was a downturn last year, into this year, and then back up again, right? And now it's continuously on a tear, and then I'll zoom in a little bit here, but let me actually put in the fibs on this and see where it's at. Let me see if here, and I want to make sure the extensions look good and see how it's behaving. Just so you know, the high is 479.98. The low was 218. We had a downturn that went all the way down to as low as 348, and now it's trying to hit the high again, right? Just from that picture, I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see an idea of what's happening. 479 is right around the 50, which is the next resistance point above, right? And as you can see below, we got the 50-day here, we got the 200-day here. The 250 crossed way back over here in April of this year. So ever since that happened, it just kept on going up. We thought it was going to come down, but the market turned. The actual 23.6 held it in. You see that? The fibs actually held it in right here. And when it did that, it just took a tear back up. Right, so the fibs are actually a great tool if you're looking at swing trading. You want to know where your support resistance are. If you don't want to just kind of take a line and draw it across, like in some cases, what I do is I go ahead and look at various different support areas just by adding a straight line right here, in this case right here. But then you look at all these others as well. So actually, let me finish clicking this. And then you got other support areas, right, that you want to kind of draw a line and see where things are. And then, the next leg up here is the 479, which is the high end, right? And so this is the support area. So in the next few days, what you're going to look at is it's going to gravitate towards the down area, depending on what the traders are going to do. You're going to look at the next 2 weeks as being a very slow week because it's a holiday week. Not a lot of trading going on, and then you're always anticipating a Santa Claus rally, and so what I'm looking at is just from the technical perspective, right? Just looking at the charts right now, it's looking like it's going to try to target this 462 area, and that would be an area that you probably want to take a long over here, especially because you see this tear that's on its way up, right? It's gravitating towards the high, right? It's going to try to gravitate towards the high, and it's going to try to gravitate towards the all-time high, which is the 479. At least, that's what it's targeting. And then the 50-day I'm sorry, the 50% on the fib is where it's going to try to attack and try to make a resistance point right here. And so the next few days it may go down up to the 62 area. That's where you want to go in for a long. And if that holds, that'll be your entry point, into the area that you want to target is 479 and above, right? Obviously 479 is where there's going to be some resistance, right? So you want to be mindful of that. Okay, so if you're going to get in long, you want to try to take an exit. And then if this doesn't hold, and if the support doesn't hold, you still have these areas right here, right? You got the 59, you got the 53, all of these areas, it's going to support. So if you add something here and it crosses the support area, you do have another leg to add, right? You can always add to your position, and then on the way up, you can make a profit. So that's the game plan on this ETF, right? You want to be able to try to capture this area. If it doesn't, what's going to happen is it's going to go straight, gravitate to the all-time high and try to break it. Okay, so that's what's going on the SPY. You want to, let me know what you think about this. If you want to quickly hit me up and ask me a question, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit me a comment. I'm going to quickly just take a look at NQ and ES for everyone, just so that you guys have an idea of what's going on with the NASDAQ and S&P 500. So, we talked about this, right? We had this support area. We had the 50 broken on the NQ, and then it broke, right? It broke the high, and now 61.8, which is the fib number that is trying to break, it's ultimately trying to make it support. If I zoom in here, you'll see that it's going to ultimately try to make a support and continue on its way up. Okay, so if you're short, be careful on the NQ, right? You be very mindful about that because it did bring the highs. You got the high, right? And then what happens with the all-time high? Usually there's some breathing room. People take profits and it'll come down, right? So be mindful of NQ and what's happening there, right? There's going to be some downward pressure. If you're stuck on a short, there may be an opportunity to get out. But ultimately what it's trying to do is trying to make that support and then ride a little bit up. But I don't anticipate it. There is a lot of, when you're making all-time highs, that's a case for, being mindful about a big downturn. Because you don't have any resistance up ahead, right? You don't have any resistance on the top side. You don't know where it's going to stop, right? So if you're in shorts, be careful. Let's take a look at, and I talked about it going up this high, and it made it. It made it this high, right? So, hey, if you were following me for the last couple of weeks, you would have made a killer. Let's take a look at the ES and the NQ real quick. Similar situation on the ES. The highs was 48.08. We looked at our fib numbers. If I'm going to zoom in, it's targeting the 50%, right? Then that's where it's gravitating towards, and it'll continue to gravitate towards that. It may pull back a few days here and whatnot, but ultimately it's going to try to touch that before it comes down. Okay, so that's what's happening on ES. And then let's take a look at the Dow. Okay, so pretty much, just like the NQ has made its all-time high, 3772, and next leg up is you're still looking at that 50%. It's gravitating towards that. So be mindful of that. And my guess is there's going to be some breathing room over here. Profits is going to be taken, and there's going to be room for downward pressure, right? So that's what's happening on the YM. If you're going to be in a long, you want to try to get in on the longer run here, but you have to make sure, you have to make sure you got your risk in place, because there's no resistance on the upside. The only resistance now that you have is this 37732, and that's about it, right? So being very mindful, this could continue its ride up, and you just have to be very, very careful. Let me know your thoughts. Give me a like and subscribe, and make sure you give me a comment if you have any questions, if you want me to look at something else.